All right. Oh, yep. There we go. Awesome. Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of Build It with Phil. It is the 23rd of February, 2021. And Phil, we usually do bi-weekly, but it was so exciting last week, or we missed the week with Fosdem that we're back today. So can't wait to see what the magical world that you're building. Can't wait to see what you're up to and how it's all coming together.
Cool. Can I share now?
Yeah, over to you. Take it away. Go.
Okay, got that?
Yep. That's good.
Excellent. So I thought what we could do is have a look through the things I've been working on, using the tools I built. So this is all running on Holochain, by the way. So one thing I wanted to do this week was I refactored the whole Builder project into a module, so it can be published now, like using our the npm publish system, same way everything else works. So you can plug this into other apps now. And then I started working on the DNA, because the next thing for the to be able to share this code and content is I need the DNA so that I can invite someone else to the cell and we can interact and work together. And when I started doing that, I realized that I needed a new field in the thing that I've been storing in the browser. And, so I've been working on that. While I was doing that, I wanted to show you something that I didn't get to show you last week. So one thing about when you edit the DNA, right, is you end up with new DNA, with a new cell ID and no data in it. So what I wanted to be able to do was be able to update the DNA as I'm building along, but then not lose my data each time I did that. And at the moment, there's no way to do that directly in the DNAs yet. I know that we're working on it, but I needed that feature now. So what I did was I figured out a way to run another conductor in here, and I can literally clear out all the files and everything from the existing conductor and then reinstall the DNA, and then take any information that's in the index.db in the database here. So maybe this stuff. So I can take information out of here. So if we go and look at like Tagger has all this stuff in the browser. So if I wipe it out of Holochain, I can use this to repopulate the new Holochain, which is what I'm doing. So rather than just talk about it, let's just do it. So this is all my Kanban and everything ready to go, right? So I go in here, I can literally delete these files. Let me just stop everything first. So if I delete all of this, that means that there's no record of my Holochain stuff anyway. And I've killed the whole thing. But I've still got it in the browser. So if I rerun this now, which will give us a new conductor with nothing in it. And as you can see, we have a conductor, but there's no cells installed. So now what we need to do is connect a new app interface to that. So I've just got a little script to run to do that. You only need to do that when you make a new conductor. Otherwise it's stored, so you don't have to do it each time. Right, let's take a couple of seconds to boot up again. So the reason I did this was now that I can now work on the DNA, change it all up, wipe my conductor, install the new DNA, migrate my data from my web app back into my Holochain DNA, and do any upgrades that I need to, adding new fields or whatever, so that I've now got a new instance of the app and the DNA, which I could then invite whoever was on the last one to the new one. And because I migrated the data and put all the new stuff in, when other people join, they will get the gossip updates of anything that I did. So we run this now, and all right, now see how it's dying, uncaught problems and stuff. That's because it's trying to fetch from the conductor, which doesn't have anything installed in it yet still, all right, it's still there. So now what we can do is we can go to my little agent here, and I can create myself a new agent key, and I can install all the apps that are in that are supposed to be installed. Go back here and see this little refresh thing here. Watch this. When I refresh this page, this now comes back as a migrate tool. And see how it took a little while there? That's because it actually interrogated Holochain and went, oh, there's no information. Right, I've got stuff in the browser. Right, do you want to migrate this? And because I do, I can just hit this button here. Boom. And then that's going to go through one after the other of everything in my browser and put into the new cell of Holochain. And as you'll see, there are now 2 cells because there's one for Tagger and one for the Kanban stuff. And on the right here, you can see it doing entry after entry after entry. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here, so that takes a little while to do. So what I want to show you is something that PM showed me, or actually pinged me this week, and he goes, have you heard of 𝗔𝗯ance.js? And I was like, 𝗔𝗯ance.js, what a cool name. So I went and checked it out. And 𝗔𝗯ance.js is what is the next level up from Builder, as far as I can tell, right? And this is a free open source web building framework. And going to the web page builder demo, hopefully. Cool. And so now I can edit this code, right? Etc., etc. Right? And over on the right-hand side here, these are all the things I can add in here. So let's say I wanted to add in a navbar. Let's just go navbar, right? Da-da-da-da-da. Blocks and blocks. I was like, that's really cool. Yep. Right, now, let's make it useful. What about if we could run Beautify and all of my custom stuff that I've already built for Builder inside Grapes?
Yep.
Hang on 2 seconds, I'll just check if this is finished. No, it's still going. All right, cool. So what you see here, these are actually custom modules that I wrote. And you can tell if I look at the code, because it says, see, that's my message component that I'm actually using in Builder. It does all the messaging. Is it done yet? No, nearly done. So I've been doing a lot of work. Right, so now what we've got is because this grapes thing is as designed as a way to plug in whatever you want. You can put whatever components you like in it, whatever framework you want. And I got this, haven't referenced this person properly, but somebody else did this Beautify grapes editor. Actually, let's go and get them proper. Yeah, this guy here. So big thanks to him, because that's what I'm running here to show that it works. So we can literally, so when we're building our apps, I think this should be done now. Yeah, cool. Right, so now I've got to go and do the tags as well. So it's a little bit of a pain, but it only takes a few seconds. But now I've transferred all of my data from the browser back into Holochain. Doing that. So what I was planning on doing with this, once I get some time, is that you'll be able to navigate to a page, press the button, and then just edit the page as it is, like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to work with Guillaume on publishing the DNA to the compository that he's working on, and then we'll figure out some way of making this module framework, because these are just Vue components just loaded in this special Vue wrapper that 𝗔𝗯ance did, and it's actually quite simple. So I haven't quite got it worked out yet, but you should be able to make exactly the same components that I'm building work in here. They're slightly different at the moment, but you get the idea. Right,
very cool.
Okay, so we now have all of my information back into Holochain that I can now use.
Yeah.
Which then got me thinking, wow, I'd really like to be able to work on the next thing, which is in the Kanban, is finishing off the porting of the Kanban cards and having this assignees thing, which is like a list of agents. Which, to do that, means I had to start a new project called Personas and Profiles, which I'm going to do again. And building this service. And I was like, I really need some help designing it. How am I going to actually do that? So for quite some time, Arthur and I have been talking about this idea of like a HackMD kind of thing, but instead of just Markdown, you can put other things in there. So I built that too. So you're now on the Kanban cards, you have this design specs page. So this is the one for card specs, which is tagged with content editor and stuff. And I wanted to be able to specify the functionality or whatever this card was supposed to do. So now when you click here, it's gone. Right, that's right, because we did the upgrade. Okay, I have to think about that. Right, so what I can do here is I can add some Markdown. So we'll just go, card. And back over there. So when you mouse over the section, you can edit it. So one of my favorite things is using Mermaid to just do sequence diagrams and things like that, and how to describe what your things are supposed to do. I really love these sequence diagrams. So what you can do is just get a sequence diagram, and you can add a diagram here and drop the sequence in there, and then press save, and magically it loads. Right, wow. So now you can specify your the interactions and the sequences of how your module is supposed to work. But what you really need is when you've got some of our team on board, having a pair session with them, they're super smart. So you want to grab code snippets off them, right? So we can go and get some Rust. I get a DNA tagger. Let's say Tom was helping me write something, and I've got some code. I can just go quick grab that, drop it into my code editor. I really need some more lines on the gutter there, don't I? But it automatically does that. All right, so now I've got a code snippet. What's it going to look like? That's our Celestial. Yeah, cool. Get a cool picture, and it looks like this. All right, cheers. All right, so now I've designed my card, right? I've got screenshots, code snippets, sequence diagram.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm just thinking of all the different specifications documents, and suddenly you just make a specifications board, you combine those pieces together, you move them, and it's like, here's the flow of the application. That's so cool.
Also, if you like the bit of code, you can just press the copy button here, and that's copied that to your clipboard. I check it out. It works on diagrams too. Right, so did that. That was kind of cool. And yeah, so then so the tag and everything's all connected up. It's got its own DNA, so that's all working. Oh yeah, so to set order, right? This is how easy. So this card specification line is done as far as I'm concerned. I'll just put it in there. There it is, done. Right. Now, don't know if you remember, but one of the earlier versions of CRISPR that I did ages ago had this idea of once a card was done, it makes obvious sense to turn that into documentation for more public consumption, right, of the thing that you built, like some sort of knowledge base. So that's gonna happen down the track too. And I think that is where we got to. Oh yeah, so I'm going to do a little countdown thing too. So when you hit the migrate, you don't have to worry about when it's finished. It'll tell you. Yeah, pretty sure that's everything I've done. All right, yeah, I'm done.
That's amazing. Short and sweet, but so cool. Do we have any questions from anyone watching? Let's check. I mean, we do just chuck them in the chat. And otherwise, there's one from last week. Let me just dig it out, huh? There's a really good one from last week. Come on, where is the question? I reckon we just call it to a close, because then we'll just catch up catch up in 2 weeks' time, and anyone wants to jump questions. It's so cool. This stuff's all coming together. Oh, actually, and you're saying like, so it's all running on Holochain, but it's not doing networking yet, but that'll be coming as Holochain core.
That does. That's nothing to do with me. All I said was that I haven't built the DNA for the developer part of it, which is storing the version control system.
Okay.
Right? Everything else, all the Kanban works, all the tags work, all that stuff works already. You can network that to another machine, no problem.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I need the DNA stuff working so that people can then go. So what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to go into developer, and there's going to be, have I done it yet? No. Yeah, under here, there's going to be clone application.
Yep.
Right? And what that'll do is that'll give you the opportunity to pick one of the apps that's in this organization and pull all of the commits for that app.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what's coming this week.
Okay. Super stuff, Phil. This is incredible.
I do like it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far.
Looking pretty good. Cool. Well, and it's just on with Yam and Belinda and Stephen recording a low code, and so they were showing the Grape.js stuff as well, and then Yam's talking about connecting it to Holochain. You've already done a ton of that, so it's the two different series are like kind of working together as well, and the stuff you're working's feeding in, which is what we were hoping for, and this is phenomenal. And yeah, then hopefully there'll be a series of people that can sort of through the low code environment get access to all of the tooling that you've been building without even knowing or realizing. It just starts to happen. So
yeah,
amazing stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Grapes idea that we can just build all these blocks. And then you can just build the blocks at the whatever level you care at. So you can make because that messages thing that I showed you, that's actually a fully functioning Holochain app.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to bring it to a close. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, unless there's something urgent and amazing you want to share next week, in which case we'll jump on and do that. And thank you for your phenomenal work and brilliance and creativity.
Cool.
It's an honor.
No worries, mate. I'll see you next week. Oh, no, 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks. All right.
Ciao.
Ciao.